14 years of relentless conflict have left Syria in ruins. The once vibrant nation is a shadow of its former self. The economy is shattered, with the Syrian pound a mere whisper of its former value. Basic necessities are scarce, and the echoes of war still haunt every corner of the land. The Syrian people, known for their resilience and spirit, now face the daunting task of rebuilding their lives and their nation. The conflict has inflicted deep wounds on Syria's social fabric. Millions have been displaced, seeking refuge within and beyond the nation's borders. Families have been torn apart, and the psychological scars of war run deep. The task ahead is not merely to rebuild physical infrastructure, but to heal the wounds of a fractured society. The challenges are immense, but the spirit of the Syrian people remains unbroken. Amidst the rubble, there is a glimmer of hope, a determination to rise again. The international community must stand by Syria, offering support and fostering a conducive environment for peace and reconstruction. The Syrian economy, once a beacon of growth in the region, has been ravaged by years of conflict. The Syrian pound, once a symbol of stability, has plummeted in value, eroding the purchasing power of ordinary Syrians. The cost of basic necessities, such as food, medicine, and fuel, has skyrocketed, pushing millions deeper into poverty. The United Nations estimates that over 90% of the Syrian population now lives below the poverty line, struggling to afford even the most basic necessities. The faces of poverty are everywhere, etched in the lines of weary mothers struggling to feed their children and in the eyes of elderly couples who have lost everything. The collapse of infrastructure has further exacerbated the economic crisis. Roads, bridges, and power grids lie in ruins, hampering economic activity and isolating communities. The agricultural sector, once a cornerstone of the Syrian economy, has been devastated, leaving millions food insecure. The Syrian people, once known for their entrepreneurial spirit and industriousness, find themselves trapped in a cycle of poverty and despair. Rebuilding the economy, creating jobs, and restoring livelihoods will be crucial to alleviate the suffering and pave the way for a more prosperous future. The new Syrian government, led by former Al-Qaeda affiliate HTS, faces the Herculean task of rebuilding a nation shattered by war. The new government has unveiled ambitious plans for economic reform, aiming to attract foreign investment, rebuild infrastructure, and revive key industries. Privatization of state-owned enterprises, long seen as inefficient and corrupt, is being explored as a way to attract foreign capital and expertise. Public-private partnerships are being sought to rebuild vital infrastructure, including roads, airports, and power grids. The government is also keen on tapping into the potential of renewable energy, both to meet domestic energy needs and to create new export opportunities. The road ahead is fraught with challenges, and success is far from guaranteed. The new government will need to navigate complex political terrain, address international concerns about its past, and work tirelessly to build trust both at home and abroad. The weight of international sanctions hangs heavy over Syria's reconstruction efforts. Imposed in response to the previous regime's human rights abuses and the new government's ties to terrorism, these sanctions pose a significant obstacle to economic recovery. Western nations, led by the United States and the European Union, have maintained that sanctions will only be lifted if the new government demonstrates a genuine commitment to human rights, democracy, and accountability. The designation of HTS as a terrorist organization by many countries further complicates matters, deterring foreign investment and hindering access to international financial institutions. The new Syrian government has called for the lifting of sanctions, arguing that they are counterproductive and only harm ordinary Syrians.
Yes, removing the economic sanctions is the key for stability of Syria.
They argue that sanctions hinder the import of essential goods, stifle economic activity, and impede the flow of humanitarian aid. The Syrian government argues that Russia bears a moral and political responsibility to contribute to the rebuilding of Syria. They point to the extensive damage caused by Russian airstrikes and military operations, as well as the role played by Russia in propping up the previous regime. Russia, while acknowledging the need for reconstruction assistance, has been reluctant to commit to large-scale reparations. Moscow argues that it was invited by the legitimate government of Syria to intervene in the conflict, and that its actions were crucial in preventing the collapse of the Syrian state. The outcome of these negotiations will have a significant impact on Syria's ability to rebuild and recover. The new Syrian government's commitment to rapid economic reforms has been met with a mix of hope and trepidation. While reforms are seen as essential to attract investment and revive the moribund economy, there are concerns about the potential social and political consequences of such a radical transformation. Privatization, a cornerstone of the reform agenda, carries the risk of exacerbating existing inequalities. The challenge for the new government is to strike a delicate balance between the need for economic reform and the imperative of social justice. Ensuring that the benefits of reform are widely shared and that the most vulnerable are protected will be crucial to maintaining stability and building a more equitable society. The future of Syria's Kurdish-majority northeast remains a critical and unresolved issue in the country's post-war landscape. The Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces, which played a pivotal role in combating ISIS, now control a significant swath of territory, rich in oil and agricultural resources. The relationship between the new government and the SDF is complex and fraught with mistrust. The government views the SDF's autonomous administration as a threat to Syrian unity, while the SDF is wary of the government's intentions and seeks to preserve the hard-won autonomy it gained during the conflict. Negotiations between the government and the SDF have been ongoing, but the outcome of these negotiations will have profound implications for the future of Syria. Despite the daunting challenges, there are glimmers of hope emerging from the ruins of war. The guns have fallen silent in many parts of the country, and a sense of normalcy is gradually returning to daily life. Markets are bustling once again, and people are daring to dream of a better future. The international community, recognizing the importance of supporting Syria's reconstruction efforts, is slowly re-engaging with the new government. Humanitarian aid is flowing more freely, and there are tentative discussions about easing sanctions. The resilience of the Syrian people, their unwavering determination to rebuild their lives and their country, is a source of inspiration. Despite the unimaginable suffering they have endured, they have not given up hope. The road ahead will be long and arduous, and the thorns of uncertainty remain. The Syrian conflict, a tragedy of epic proportions, has left an indelible mark on the nation and its people. The scars of war run deep, a constant reminder of the human cost of conflict. Yet, amidst the ruins, there is a spirit of resilience, a determination to rise again. The future of Syria remains unwritten. The challenges are immense, but so too is the potential. The Syrian people, with their rich history, cultural heritage, and indomitable spirit, have the capacity to rebuild their nation and forge a brighter future. Investing in education, healthcare, and economic development is not just a humanitarian imperative, but a strategic necessity. The Syrian conflict serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the importance of dialogue, compromise, and inclusivity. The lessons learned from Syria's tragedy must not be forgotten. Only through collective effort, unwavering commitment, and a shared vision for a peaceful and prosperous future can Syria truly heal and emerge stronger from the ashes of war.